All right, today we're going to be looking at Lesson Review 3, found on page 443. Our learning target is what makes something electrically charged. All right, so number 1, electric charge. Correct answer is C, property that leads to electromagnetic interactions. Number 2, electrical conductor. A material that allows electrons to flow through easily. That can be found on page 440. Number 3 can also be found on 440. Electrical insulator. That's a material that does not allow electrons to flow easily. Number 4, explain. Describe electric discharge. This can be found on page 439. Discharge occurs when an object loses some or all of its static charge. It is a movement of electric charge somewhere else. Number 5, compare. What properties of semiconductors make them useful in electronic devices? On page 441, we see a semiconductor allows for the flow of charges to be controlled. This is useful in processing electrical signals. So 441, right here, it talks about semiconductors and how it controls the flow of a charge. Silicone is often used for this. Number 6, predict. Two objects have unlike charges. How would the electric force between the two objects change as they move apart? So, the electric force would become weaker as objects are moved apart. The objects would not attract each other as strongly. So, this works the same way that magnets and gravity work. Both are non-contact forces. We see this answer on 437. Here we have a couple different diagrams here, and it talks about distance in this red subheading. Number 7, analyze. Describe how charge is transferred from the ruler to the metal rod. Well, on 438, we see that transfer can happen by 3 different ways, right? In this case, it's contact. So the ruler is negatively charged. When it is in contact with the metal rod, the electrons move from the ruler to the rod, and the negatively charges can move freely through the rod. Number 8, describe. Explain how the transfer observes the conservation of charge. So charges are not created or destroyed. Charges are lost by the ruler and are gained by the rod. On 441, we see down here in the bottom, this is called conservation of charge. And just like matter cannot be created or destroyed, charges cannot be created or destroyed. They simply move somewhere else. Number 9, student places 2 charged objects near each other. The objects repel each other. The student concludes that the objects must both be negative. Do you agree? Explain. Well, like charges are going to repel. So the objects could be both negative, but they could also be positive as well. And we can see this explained on page 436.